Hey, welcome to Reviews on the Run. Hope you like comic books because they are well represented in this episode.
I don't like comic books.
Today on Reviews on the Run, Scott and I are taking a look at Batman Arkham Asylum, Stick Wars for the iPhone, Watchmen, The Complete Experience, Science Papa, Little King's Story, and in versus, it's Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger going up against Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Man, have we got a hot show for you today. We are going to get right to Batman Arkham Asylum, but I have to, reintroduce my good buddy, Scott Jones.
Sorry for saying that thing about comic books. I do actually like them.
I know you don't. You don't have to lie. It's all good. I like comic books enough for the both of us, so we're okay. We're doing it all right.
I like graphic novels.
Yeah, okay. Anybody that says they like graphic novels isn't reading comic books. That's what I've discovered.
You're going to club me over the head with
No,
your
it's all good. Graphic novels are kind of like the hoity-toity version of comic
Friends
books.
still, though. Let's talk about
absolutely.
Batman. I know you've been looking forward to this.
This is unbelievable, man. This is the game that I have pretty much been down on my hands and knees praying for a long, long time. It was getting me down playing all these fantastic Marvel games over and over again. Every iteration of Spider-Man has been very good. Marvel Ultimate Alliance loved it. Loved the Wolverine game. But guess what? Batman trumps all. This game is just absolutely amazing. They hired Paul Dini, step one for a fantastic decision right there.
I know who Paul Dini is.
Amazing writer. Also not deciding to tie this to the Chris Nolan Batman films.
Yes.
Excellent decision. And then they get Kevin Conroy to be Batman. They get Mark Hamill to be the Joker, which are as distinctive voices as have been, these characters ever in the past.
Hey, Sharpie. Love what you've done with the place.
And they've really nailed the vibe and the gothic creepiness in this game so well. And it's not like the animated series, which is where they could have gone. They could have made it a little bit lighter and a little bit more kid-friendly. This is a dark Batman game, and that's why I loved it.
What I felt like they got right with this game is I think the scale of the game has to match the superhero. For example, if you look at Spider-Man, when the Spider-Man games got great, it's because you had this huge open environment to really feel like Spider-Man in. But Batman's not that kind of character. He doesn't need a whole world to roam around in. He needs narrow hallways. He needs little acts that he can be most effective at. This is his world.
Well, and I think that's been, part of the problem with some of the superhero games that have come before this, the Superman game, the Iron Man game. The developers have bit off more than they could chew, and I think they could have easily have made an open world Gotham City.
Oh, they could have added driving levels
and had but you know what? That could be a great way to grow this franchise, and I would love to see that game happen. But it has to maintain this fidelity and this level of love and real kind of ownership of the characters and like really understanding what the mythos is about. I mean, this is why this game succeeds. Yes, they hemmed it in, but they kept it true. We've only been talking about the storytelling and the visuals and all that stuff so far. What's terrific about the way this game plays, it pulls from Metal Gear Solid and Metroid and Splinter Cell and BioShock, all these fantastic, really pivotal games in the history of video games, and it pulls the best from each of these titles, and it wraps it around inside the Batman universe and the Batman mythos.
Yeah, the combat engine is one of the best I've ever seen. But and you're right. And I just want to make another comment about it's a nice mix of the cerebral and the visceral.
Yes,
he's a thinking man superhero more than any other superhero, and the game is not afraid to put you in a situation to solve a puzzle.
Full disclosure: we did the making of this game.
I was going to bring that up,
and I was so honored to be asked to do this.
So you can see a documentary that you made. On the bonus disc?
With the collector's edition.
Just the collector's edition.
Yeah, the bonus disc. It was a real honor to be a part of this, or to be a tiny part of it and see these guys do this work because they killed themselves to make this game. It's so obvious, and they've made an excellent game. Whether you like comic books, whether you like Batman, whether you like superheroes,
whether you like video games.
This is a fantastic game, man. This stands up with the best games I've ever played.
It really is. It's really great.
What are you giving it?
We give it a 9.5.
I'm straight up 10, man.
I know.
This is
saw it coming.
Absolutely. Thank you, Warner Brothers. Thank you, DC. Thank you, IDOS. Thank you, Rocksteady. This is the Batman game I've been waiting
buddy,
for.
your erection is showing.
Easy. So there you go, 10 out of 10 for Batman Arkham Asylum. Something tells me you weren't too surprised by that score.
No,
I don't think you guys were either. But stick around, we're coming back with more comic book action. Watchmen Complete, movie and 2 Watchmen games on 1 Blu-ray, or 2 Blu-rays.
2 Blu-rays.
Right after this.
It's the comeback of the century as Little Mac returns to the ring in Punch-Out on the Wii. Fans of the original Punch-Out game will find a horde of memorable characters, including familiar faces like Glass Joe, King Hippo, and Don Flamenco. Both novice and veteran gamers alike can punch their way to the top using the Wiimote and nunchuck. Throw body shots, give a few quick jabs, or devastate your opponent with uppercuts. The Wii balance board can also be used to literally bob and weave through fights and should provide an additional challenge for advanced players. For those who insist on old-school Punch-Out purity, the game can also be played with the classic NES-style controls by turning the Wiimote sideways. Two-player split-screen multiplayer has been included so players can test their reflexes against their friends. There are also additional in-match challenges that can unlock hidden extras. Anyone looking to get into a fighting game they just can't put down should look no further than Punch-Out.
Playing a game on the iPhone called Stick Wars. Funny name for a funny game. Basically, you have a big wall, like something from the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, the enemies are all pretty harmless at first, and then they'll suddenly be armed with axes, and they'll be armed with hammers and spears, and they'll try and get to your wall, and if they get to your wall, they'll start doing damage. And if they do enough damage, your wall will come down and you'll lose the game. You defend your wall by touching the stick figures on the screen and throwing them straight up into the air, and you can slam them back to the ground, and they'll explode in, you know, tiny little bursts of blood. And if there's a whole group of them coming in, you might want to pick one up and throw him down, and you wipe out the whole group. It sounds simple. That's because it is simple. You know, there's really not a whole lot of strategy. Basically, you're doing this on the touch screen over and over as quickly as you possibly can. It can get pretty hectic in later levels, but you can unlock things like, you know, a bomb factory, which will, you know, protect your wall and launch bombs at the guys, or you can unlock a wizard school, and wizards will protect your wall. And but those things take a little time to unlock. You'll need to earn funds, and you earn funds by defeating waves of the stick figure guys. You know, it's not going to blow your mind, but for 99 cents, if you expected to have your mind blown, well, you're probably pretty naive. I'm going to give Stick Wars a 6.5 out of 10.